Grandmaster Amon Ra here. Hope you can hear me. We're live on a Monday. I'm on a Saturday morning in Mombasa, East Coast. 7:30 in the morning, and on Saturday, some students come to school to practice tuition, and today I just wanted to give out a more live view. I know some of you are tired of looking at my face all the time, but we're going to have a good show. I'm here. Palm tree. Hope I don't get hit by a coconut. Today's show is about the truth can take a long time to become reality. The truth can take a long time to come into a reality. Now, the last couple of days, I was on YouTube reviewing some of the old talks from Dr. Umar Lashik Takrik, and of course Dr. Claude Anderson. And when I gave out this information that the only way you're going to win in this game is to see yourself as an African. That's number two. And number one, make a plan to leave the United States. All the things that they're doing, 99% of the problems you have in the United States can be removed by simply leaving. Now, of course, I know this is not easy for many of us, but I think in the last shows I was showing that it's the only option, and it's inevitable that we either continue with the circumstances that's been before us, or, we man up and take a dynamic change. Right. Now the problem, as these guys were saying, almost all three of them, to Krieg, Dr. Claude Anderson, I was, and then to Krieg I was, and then I think Omar Johnson was doing a talk in Detroit. And the problem is that when you come up with the point, which I have come up with, time and time again, by the way, this is not the first time I've given revelations, and then it took time for people to come to realize, hey, this actually is the only solution. We have to take our time, run these things through our brain computer, and then let the conclusion settle in. Because the brain always works on something. If something doesn't seem quite right, the brain will continue to work on it until it can come up with a positive solution that it makes sense and is acceptable. That is just the way the brain works. It doesn't go for things that are spookism or doesn't really accept a nonsense as truth. We have to continually move towards finding that truth. And when we leave our brains to the way they are, this is what happens in the brain. Now, sometimes when you give out information, the brains automatically reject it. And I'm sure we have uh, lost people because they can never see themselves separate from being a Black American. You know, so in the Detroit show that Dr. Umar Johnson was doing, he was switching back and forth to the term African. He even said Black people, then he said African, and I believe he sees that reality. He's talking about we go to Africa every year. I have yet to see that happen, and uh, he talked from the point of view that Black people had to get off their lazy asses and start taking action uh, in this area if they want to be free, if they want real freedom. I mean, he made all the elegant points, how we've been suffering, how, the normal, how, he laid out all the framework of our situation. But then he said that the number one goal was that we had to not just listen to his flowery speeches, but to jump up and now take action. It was as if he was trying to inspire somebody in the room to jump up and say, I'm gonna take action. Well, he's given more speeches than most people, according to himself, and we still haven't seen one jump up and take action guy come out of any one of his speeches yet. Why is that? Because we are African. We're not Black American. Jump up, start taking action means that you're going to actually fight, and it's no way to win. It's no way to win in this battle. 400 years of this has taught us that. And then what are we fighting for? And then why should we have to fight anyway? You see? So his strong rhetoric was there, but the solution was not to leave. His solution was to we fight. To do the political thing. He came up with the same kind of Dr. Claude Anderson type of theories. Now, Takrik Lashik, I don't know why you guys. I'm sorry, I always get his name wrong. He did a good show on the Breakfast Club, and they asked him some generally good questions. And one of the main questions they were asking him repeatedly was, "What's his solution to this situation with Black people?" He gave the same stories about how we are last, and how we are being marginalized by the white man, and everything we already know. And then he was asked, "Well, what's the solution?" And Shakrik said that the solution was to form a economic base, and this economic base would be to for Black people to come together and then somehow organize themselves. And an economic base means that you're going to give out your money, and somebody else is going to control your money, and then they're going to do with it what they feel is necessary for the fight. He even said by politicians. He was in the same line as Dr. Claude Anderson, and I was just shaking my head. The the reality of it is that we can talk all day, and none of that means amounts to anything. And it's not that we don't want to get out there and win and be treated fairly and have equal pay and all that and the rights. But I'm here to tell you, even in my own personal life here in Kenya, that mindset of the justice thing is I can't explain to you where you can understand now, but it doesn't add up to 100%. Understanding, like, we must get justice. He was saying that we replace the white supremacy with justice. And I was like, where has there ever been justice? For there to be justice, that means you have to have somebody that's going to say they were unjust and then they change to be just. And, contrary to popular belief, when you go back to and look at history, you find that we don't, we never get real justice. I mean, they'll put the one or two shows out there where the old black guy gets put out, after serving 35 years, he's released from prison, given $500,000 and told him, sorry, buddy. And the first thing the brother is like, hey, I was in prison. I was wrongly accused. And so there are many other brothers in the same situation still locked up. What about them? And one of the things that Takrik was saying in his interview with the Breakfast Club is like, back in the day, even me, I was being chased by police, an actual chase, and got caught, pulled over, and my friends and I were thrown on the ground. And they searched the car. They gave me a ticket. I was allowed to leave. But if that was to happen today, I'd have like 3 or 4 or 5 different type of laws that I have broken, and they would have just amounted them together, and I would probably have been spent like 4 or 5 years in jail just for road speed racing, and then the police come after you. I was racing a friend of mine's car. Of course, I was winning, and his car couldn't keep up with mine, so I was passing him, letting him catch up, then passing him, and then I said, "Shoot, let me stop this before the police catch me. Come up somewhere." So I stopped and I looked in the rearview mirror. I saw these 2 little red dots way in the background, and they had been trying to catch us in the car. The police car was a joke. So I pulled on over, and they finally caught up. Their car was overheating, and you know, they got us. And I think that times have definitely changed for us today, where they're trying to lock us up for any little thing, and the jails are full of us. The only way you're going to stop that is to leave. If you have like a 14-year-old, 15-year-old boy, son, and he's just running around, there's a good possibility that he's gonna get a case somewhere between the time he's 15 and the time he's 19. And that can all but ruin his life. But if you are outside of the country, if he's in boarding school in Kenya, not only is he getting a full-time education, not only is he learning to be independent, wash his own clothes, cook his own meals in the boarding school, it's like a academic camp. And when he comes out, he's a man. I know this for a fact because my son went to boarding school, and he cried the first month he was there. The food was bad. They treated me bad. But after a while, he settled down. And then when he was in Form 2, second year, I asked him, you want to go out? You want me to get out of this school? He was like, no, I'm okay. Because he had now gotten friends and they were established protocols that he had learned. And he was, seeing new people come in, and he was realizing that they were just like he was the year before. So in the area of boarding school, America could never go for that because black people would be black youth would be outside of their uh, attack area. You know, if we had boarding schools in the United States, your son would be there Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and maybe he's out every 3 weeks. So what could he get involved in? Can get in drugs, can get in gangs. Schooling definitely 100% of the time is there. This is what I'm saying. But America is not for that. But when I came to Kenya, and they started talking about taking my kids to boarding school, I was dead set against it because I was Americanized. And how my kids to put in no boarding school? But you see, that I was brainwashed. But later down the line, when I saw like 80% of Kenyans put their kids in boarding school, why is that? And now I see it's brilliant. Girls going to boarding school, no teenage pregnancy problem is gone. You see, they're no influence, they're no exposed to police. And Dr. Umar Johnson has that concept, but the same problem he always has is that at the end of the day, the solution is to release them into the fucking United States. So you got a degree from Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass High School, where if you put that on any resume for a decent job in the United States, it lowers your chances of getting the job. We're already low. They're already filtering us out by the name, but that makes it even more so. So when I came up and I say, I'm trying to make it plain, that the only solution, the only way to win is to remove yourself from these people's ability to attack us. And just like the boarding school example, leaving America cuts their throat. You're no longer paying taxes. You're no longer paying into the system. You're no longer buying things in the U.S. You're buying them in an African country. For those of you that are retirees, there is no real. I have never really met a retiree in Kenya that isn't living better than he would be in the United States. If you live better in Kenya than you do in the United States. It's just no way. You're not gonna have a life like a poor life if you come to uh, an African country with your pension and with your Social Security money. Okay, let me read some comments here. I know I'm missing them. Let me try to go up. The whole purpose of this was to get on here. Uh, oh, Emmanuel Mills, but over there it's probably different. It is different. I don't know exactly what you mean. Peace giving. Big K, if you have the right skills, you get paid in America. You can get paid in America. You get paid in any country if you have the right skills. But the problem is, as a people, your level of pay is reduced on purpose. You see, when you start talking about, okay, I got a job in the U.S. and everybody's working, you have to still remember to think about the disparity of wealth. The disparity of wealth goes against everything you're doing. Like I said, you might got a really good job and you bought your Lexus, but you see you got like 5 different alarms on that Lexus because although you might be making good money, the general people around you are not making money. And we know that black people are target black people all the time. We know that rich blacks are targeted by poor blacks. Ask any of the celebrities, they'll tell you when you become a celebrity, you can't live in your hometown. You have to move. You see, because there's too many people that know you're crazy fools that'll come out and start attacking you for no reason. They'll come and asking you for money, and then when you refuse them, boom. Big K, I'm in Mombasa. I'm in the eastern coast of East Africa. Yeah, no schools are run by white people, and no boarding schools are owned or operated run by white people here. Okay, well, I don't know. I can't say no school is owned by white people, but it's the few, tiny, you know. So I wouldn't, uh, I wouldn't even start trying to talk like white people got some sort of influence in Kenya. They don't, you know. They're non-issue here. I know you feel like the white people are everywhere and they're controlling things. That's impossible in Kenya. Kenya is one of the most anti-white people countries I have ever been in. They're friendly. Kenyans are friendly. They don't go for that stuff. White people they can't get in the government. They always on alert for the white man. Yeah, always on alert. It's not something that's gonna be in politics or in the media. You got to do business with them. People still fear the white man's crazy ass Trump. Anything can happen. But at the same time, day-to-day life, no. Rarely do you see white guys with black women. Whites don't go to the major hotels anymore. The numbers are reducing. They're insignificant, and they're still reducing in number. Remember, Italy has been in recession. So how they gonna come and travel and do vacation like they used to in Kenya? You see, British. You see, they're having all kind of problems. How can they do that? How can they come here now and start enjoying things when they don't have no money? In France, they're trying to hide the fact that France is on fire and pretending like everything is okay. That's the whole purpose. You can just look at it and see the lies on the things they try to cover up and ignore. All right, so there is a good chance I send my child to boarding school there and won't have to worry too much about my child. That's all, brother. Well, Emmanuel Mills, listen. As a parent, we have to worry. That's just the facts. That's just the facts. But the benefits uh, far outweigh any kind of problem that you might think you might have. Now, first of all, uh, you're going to worry about is something going to happen to my child. Now, these schools are institutions. Kids didn't just start boarding school yesterday, 20 years, 30 years. So some of these schools are 30 years old. They're institutions. Like this school that you're looking at right now in the View has been here since the 1960s. It's an institution. They got rules that they follow from the years and years and years. I've been working here for almost 4 or 5 years now, and everybody knows their job. Students know where they're supposed to go. So it just automatically works in place. So when he goes to the school, he's not gonna be the first foreigner to go to the school. He wouldn't be the first Black American to go to the school. And Kenyans are really nice people. They're not like racist white people where you go to the school and everybody start teasing them. That's just not culture, and nobody would stand for that, even if it could be like that. You see, so he'd be far better off, far safer. And then when he gets out of school, he'll have appreciation for the country that they normally don't. That they wouldn't even know nothing about if they didn't live the experience. So yeah, you're gonna have that, but trust me, no. And one of the things I would like to do is to look into that fact where we can put our kids where they rightfully belong in an African-based school, not an African like from traditional days where they gonna do learn drumming. No, this is modern Africa. This modern Africa, they're gonna be learning computers. They're gonna be learning the things that are up to date. Nobody's concerned with the traditional dancers and what's that gonna do for you? Nothing. We just gotta remind me to do a show, and we get all the details from some schools, and you see the prices, and you know, uh, maybe we even form a committee where like 3 or 4 of you have your kids, and they all go to the same boarding school, so that they can all be know each other as a group. Because everybody wants to have somebody that they know, so that they can relate to. But I submit to you, where you have this feeling of that's not going to happen with my child, it's the wrong feeling. Imagine if Trayvon Martin was in boarding school. That should never have taken place. You know, Imagine if all these young kids that go to, you got some of these youngsters at 14, 15, they ain't been raised. They got a single mom that don't raise them. They rude, they obnoxious. And then imagine if they were just tossed into boarding school. And they start trying that shit in boarding school, talking about rude and obnoxious, talking back to the teachers. They got something for them, something that you can't. They won't even allow you to hit your children in America. They all the ways how to stop all that shit. America made that illegal. You can see that. There's no threat of fear for the student to say, young 15-year-old, 15 to 14-year-old, talking shit to the teachers, and talking back to their parents. I mean, today's parents, you've been even forced to watch them learn all of, uh, being gender Pacific and all those other things. You can't. What's America coming to? How much more can you take? But if they was in a boarding school, they were learning African subjects, science, English, which they do. I'm sure they'll do well on English. Then Swahili is there definitely, and social studies. They learn all about the social studies in Africa. These are the core subjects, and they'd be far better off. So definitely, they got to go to boarding school. Okay, let me get. Well, I won't have to worry about that because the other site's children. Joe, Mina, someone was asking about going to Mombasa. There's so many people that saying they're coming to Mombasa. I think we got 3 guys. There's 2 guys in 2 Black Americans in Nairobi. They're waiting for their February check to come, and then they coming at the beginning of next month. And then there's another guy. He keeps calling me on the phone. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Like I said, I don't want you guys popping up at my door. That's just too much. But definitely, these videos are giving people inspiration to make that journey. I just say that, like anything, you should use professional help so that you can get the best out of your visit. And I understand that. Evalyne Belanti, there you are, my dear. Because some of us are progressing. I have visited 6 African countries. The glass is half full. Yeah, we are coming out and visiting, but like I said, if you can come and visit a place, that's one thing. But I'm not just talking about visiting. I'm talking about having a complete get away from the United States nonsense and taking my children out of it moment. See, this is what I'm talking about in the full spectrum of things. And I'm saying that the truth is going to take long, but it's the only reality. Because the Creek is talking about an economic base. He wants to collect money somewhere, and from Black people, they've been doing that for 400 years and robbing us. And so many of us shut off when somebody starts asking for money. It's the same like me. And so I start talking about okay, support the channel. Everybody shuts off. Oh no, I ain't got no money. This is a trick. This is bad news. But like anything, the information we give out has to be supported, and this is the way we do it on this channel. And you can get this information in the comment section also, and throw a few coins in to support the channel because this is the only reality show. This is the real reality show. A lot of these guys are talking African, but they're not here. You see, how can you talk about Africa? You don't live here. You know, how can you talk about I'm an African, but you're still in the U.S., but you don't know which way to go. And here's somebody that's been here for all these many years and telling you, look, it's your best benefit. So, what can I just hit me yet? So this is what I'm saying. Now I was watching Dr. Claude Anderson, and he was on I think the Paul Newman show. This is several years ago, and in that show he actually said that the window for blacks to get out of the situation was closing. They said they got one small window. If they don't act now, then black people can give it up. Well, of course, we never acted, and that window did close. And 2020 came, and we started focusing on what our situation. And when you do the assessment, the news isn't good. The news isn't good. Okay, hello, Evalyne, my queen. Good to see you. I don't know if somebody here wrote a message. They want me to show it. Yeah, life is okay. Life is very peaceful in Mombasa. It's not that the life is too peaceful in Mombasa, but I want to get you guys to understand. This is normal life. What you have in the United States is like crazy. It's crazy. On top of everything else that's done to us, then there's the weather factor that a lot of people have to go through every year, every season, and walk out the door and you just don't know if you can even go to work, or you go to work and you don't know if you can even get home. And that's not. It's unfortunate that we have become used to that, and that all comes with the title of being a Black American. That means you're an American. That means whatever weather happens in America, that's your weather. You own it. No, you don't own that. It's not your weather. That's bullshit. Somebody stole you from Africa, brought you here to this cold ass place. You never saw snow before in your life. You always run around with no shirt on, and now all of a sudden they got to give you coats, otherwise you freeze to death. How many Black Africans came to America and then died of pneumonia because they never experienced that kind of crazy ass weather? So many of us. So it's gonna take time for the reality to sink in. Your best benefits are to claim Africa. Don't stop at slavery. Claim a whole continent. So, like I said, Dr. Claude Anderson, just go to that Newman show. He's telling you right there. And there's another show where he said more Mexicans bought his books than Black people. So you see, what you gonna do? Dr. Umar Johnson was saying how Black people don't do anything. They listen to the stories, but then after that they just sleep. Hi, how are you? Okay, they just sleep and they just go back to their daily life of struggle. And this is what we don't we don't need it. So yeah, the life is peaceful, but that's just the normal life. This is what you're trying to reach. This is what I'm trying to tell you and can offer you. People just live their life, get along with each other. There's no war, there's no fighting, there's no video game or shooting, killing games. It's just not in the people here. just peaceful. Respect your parents. This is a wonderful life. Respect elders. I was here with the Black American guy, Jay. Shout out to Jay. I haven't heard from him in 2 or 3 days. He said he was going to be moving back to Bamburi because his money was running out. And he's saying that, yes, Matt, how are you?
Fine.
Okay. Yeah, Boo, what's up? Okay. So he wanted to go exchange some money. You know, he was working in China. So he says, I'm take me to go exchange some money. So I said, I'm gonna take you to town and find these guys that exchange money. So we found these guys, and you know, one of them was an elderly gentleman, and they were telling him that the best they could offer him was 800 to 1 for the Chinese money. So he just went crazy. Oh, that's bullshit. You guys trying to rob me, you know, and this man is an elder. He doesn't even understand that. And I'm trying to tell him, say, you know, police, you know, you have to forgive him. He don't, you know, how can you just sit up and talk shit to this man that is an elder? It's just not done. But you see, he's a Black American, and they don't have no respect for elders. They don't see nothing like that. They just talk to people any kind of different way, and this all came out. This guy's from my place. He's from LA. He's from my hood. So I'm trying to tell him, you know, cool down, man. This guy's not trying to rob you. He's giving you the price, you know. And that kind of disrespect is in our people. Now Jay's a good guy, you know. I know if you sit him down here, he can understand it. But these are some of the rules and things that are there. You know, you treat your elders with respect. And that's the normal life. You know, I just wish you could see this. You can't, you know, this video can't do justice to the beautiful sunrise that's coming up here. In fact, I might have to move up because the sun is really coming out. So Big K, all of us are not struggling in America. You are struggling. I don't know why you're saying like, we're not struggling, we're okay. You're, as a people, you are struggling. Gosh, man, I don't want you saying like I'm okay, you know, but your neighbor, you know, people forget I lived in the United States. I was born and raised there, and you're acting like I don't remember, or a lot of you people come up talking about, I mean, a lot of things have changed since you were here 20 years. That's your mind trying to make a sense of the lie, okay? That's your mind trying to make sense of the lie. You're not okay, okay? The things that are doing to our people, the way they are ignoring our demands as Black people, the way they are doing our situation, that ain't right. And please don't tell me that we're okay. All of us got jobs. No, that's the Trump nonsense. Hmm? How many of you have a job where it's going to take care of you up until the time you retire? These jobs are finished, not only in the United States where they was actually started, and other countries tried to emulate that, even in Kenya. Those type of jobs is gone because they're not economically viable. You see? So what takes their place is subservient jobs that pay half of a living wage. Now I don't know what widget place they got you doing. You know, you making like $25 an hour. And you got a cushy job. But hey, look around you. That's not the case for everybody, or even half, or even a third of our people. So if you want to try to compare, you think Blacks got a better life in the United States than they do in Africa? We're beyond that. You know, if you debate me on that, I mean, how many times you guys gonna lose? Because you're gonna start talking about your particular friend got a job or you got this position, but in general, that's not the case for most black people. In that Detroit speech, Dr. Umar Johnson, as you guys know, he was there and he said that he has traveled all over the United States and talked in all the major cities, uh, as many of you know. And in that speech, he was saying that wherever city he went to, he never found one actual black community that where blacks own the hospital, blacks own the supermarket, blacks own the school. You see, out of all the cities he went through, hundreds of cities, he said he never found that once. Okay, so you can talk about your cushy job, but at the same time, blacks as a people in the United States are being subjugated and oppressed. They have taken our black communities away. And what is next after that? That's where we are now. What is next? No more black community now. You can't find a black hospital, supermarket, bowling alley, any kind of, business where we structure, where we own it in a community. In any city in the United States, according to Dr. Umar, he's traveled all around. What are you trying to tell me? That your whole existence in the United States is based on how much money the company pays you? That's not reality. Because you got children that you got to raise. And what you gonna do for them when they tell you that the next generation, your children, is gonna be poorer than your generation for the first time ever? And then you jump up telling me that we got not all blacks are suffering. You're all suffering. You just don't see it as suffering. You just see it as you have conformed and you have cushioned yourself to deal with it the best way you can. Antonio Perry, black people are struggling in all these cities. I visited about 10. Yes. Dr. Claude Anderson has given a talk. I have to watch these guys, and I watch them. I've done research with them. I don't just tell you and talk about them because I just feel like I could talk about them. I listen to what they have to say. I listen to what they say. I take that time to do that. So when I tell you about what they're doing and what they're saying, it's not because I'm guessing. You know, I know you heard 1,000 times. I've done my research. I'm continually doing the research because I want to understand to the highest degree. Unlike a lot of other people. And the fact of the matter is, we're losing. Now, without a black community, and I have been saying this for years, people can check me and see if I'm not wrong, if I'm lying. Without a black community, you're done. You might be able to go watch Netflix, play, I don't know, Nintendo in your house before you fall asleep and have to go to work the next day. But that ain't no life. You know what's a wonderful life is when you can walk out your house, say hi to your neighbor, all your neighbors all the way down on this side of the block, all the neighbors on this side of the block. You go to your local market, there's a black man behind the counter. You don't have to see white people. You go to the liquor store, and then your neighbor from the other day is there. He got some conversation about the local situation here and there, and wow, and you say, how's the family? The family's doing good, this and that, so and so is okay, yeah. Now that is a lot. But with 70% of households being run by female head households, you ain't gonna get that, black man. You're not gonna get that. And therefore, the actual reality of what you get is some sort of montage craziness, because you're never gonna go to the liquor store, it's an Asian or Arab. You're walking down the street waving at your neighbors. Not half of them, most of them nowadays is not black. Some of them looking at you sideways. Some of them are smiling in your face, but they never want to get close to you. That is the reality of the situation, and it's only going to get worse because either, first of all, you don't want to talk about it's happening, and then second of all, this is the what else could go? I mean, how could it go any other direction? Somebody is ripping us off, and they got an idea that the next black American is going to be somebody who's just black. Spotted here, one there. We're gonna see another one over there. Yeah. Meanwhile, the police patrol the streets just waiting for you to jaywalk, so they can arrest you for resisting arrest. So many of you guys out there got kids that's already in the justice system, and you don't want to talk. That's Kelly. Hey, girl, Big K. Okay. The majority of, Al Bob. Exactly. Morning. Brother, you are living my dream life. Good job, bro. Thank you. But I'm living my life, and I'm trying to tell you that there is this possibility. They don't want you to see me. They don't want you to listen to me telling you these things. You know? And now we have so many more brothers that are coming forward, coming out of the closet. Some of them are here in African countries. They just on a low profile. You know, they don't want to make no waves, and I don't blame them, because shit, U.S. Listen to me. To come on here and tell you that you should leave the United States contradicts everything that they want to do. When you see Trump on TV telling you America got the best, oh, we're the best country, we got the most jobs, and blah, blah, what he's trying to do is sell black people to stay in America. That's what he's trying to do by telling you you got employment. If you listen to even one of his speeches, he even mentioned African Americans, because he's really talking to us, because they don't want us to leave. They want us to be a consumer and taxpayer, while they mistreat us and throw our children under the fucking bus. I just think we should focus on the masses. They are done for. A small nucleus of our people might be able to make something happen, but on a mass scale, ain't not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen on any kind of mass scale or situation where black people are going to all of a sudden make a mass exodus out of the United States. That's never really going to happen. But individually, one by one by one, for each individual, they make the decision, they come, and then they find others that are already here, and they go, wow. And then they look at the weather, and they go, wow. And they see the people and their life, wow. And then they figure out a way to stay. Now, what's going to happen when you get here as a black American is you're going to be assimilated. You know, you hear me say you're going to be assimilated. That means that I'm going to die a black American in this country, but my children are going to be Kenyan. So I have done my part. You see, I have created Africans and not black Americans. See, so my seed will live on without being injected with racism. My seed will live on and have my kids will have their own country. All the presidents are black. You know, so I have done my job. Well, I'm still doing my job. I still got a long way to go with my kids and education. But you know, I don't see any hindrance. Never really been one. You just get a good woman that's gonna be there for you, and voila, you just set. Nothing better than a good African woman. Be she born in America or be she African? If she come here and she's half African, then damn, you got a jewel on your hand. But you get some of these sisters that's coming here, like, the water's too cold, and they from Michigan and Chicago. You know, they come to Africa and come out here. Oh, the sun is too hot. You know, they just looking for shit to complain about. You know, you just have to laugh at them because there's nothing to. It's nothing to. You know, there's no way you can compare the two lifestyles. So, yeah. Let me see this. I can. You know, the sun is really hitting me now. Big K, Emmanuel. But that's a good thing. Otherwise, we would prevent us from to leave. Yeah, you have to realize that you'll be assimilated. There is no going to be like Black Americans come to Africa and they stay Black Americans. The moment you get here, whether you can call yourself Black American, you can call yourself Pan African, you can do the fight all you want, but nobody around Africa is fighting because the people are already free. People here are free. So what you know, you be talking about, we got to fight for the rights, the white man. And it's like, what they're looking at you like, what white man? There ain't no white man running around here. You know, where is he? They'll tell you like that. Now, I've been here for 20 years. I ain't seen no white man in control of nothing. You know. Okay, they had the chairman for Safaricom was a white guy, but he was good, no doubt. Then he quit, and then they hired a black guy, and he was great. He got sick and died, you know. But as far as any kind of government position, it's never going to happen after WikiLeaks. You're never going to see that happen. So you got to get to the reality that America has lied to you. America is lying to you. They're not the greatest country in the world. They're not the best in education in the world. So I wanted to. How are you, sir? I'm fine. How are you? Let's see. I need more. I need more more administrators. My son has not brought me breakfast. Morning. I'm fine. I don't know what this is. Since this video has started, I'm at the school. I'm not at home. I don't know if that was the unless we're gonna start talking about that's lawsuits. That's another thing about Kenya is that there's no lawsuits. People don't sue each other here. It's crazy. People don't sue, and you know, people just get along. They settle their differences, you know, admirably. Don't they be taking nobody to court and then you win in court and who gonna go fight for that money for you to get your money? That's just ridiculous. But anyway, I just want to remind you guys again to think about supporting the channel, and we're going to continue to do great things here as we have been doing. The title of this program was "The Truth Can Take a Long Time for Reality," and the reality is that the only way you're going to survive this is to leave the United States. You can't win, although you're going to keep on trying to figure out a way you're going to do it. That's just not going to happen. So So where are we? 53 minutes. Okay. And this sun is too much. Let me go back into the office. Let's see if we can do this. Ooh. That's a more controlled environment. In fact, let me turn that. Are we still live? Wow. That's my energy drink here. Somebody said I'm a drunkard. If you look at my accomplishments, I don't think you can see that a drunkard could do all that. In fact, I can't even list them my accomplishments. I try to go through and see my accomplishments, and being an entrepreneur and been running different type of businesses. I didn't know they were going to turn out to be like that, And then they almost institutionalize themselves where they go last for 10, 20 years. This is just amazing. As long as I can keep my health, this thing can never stop making money and supporting. They're trying to do the same thing they did in America over there now in 2020. So Amoni is living proof that Kenya is safe for us. You're living in the most dangerous country in the world, and you thinking like, if I go to Africa, anything can happen to me. You have been brainwashed. This is brainwashed. Somewhere, somebody showed you a TV show or some fake ass documentary, and you got into your subconscious mind and you believe that, oh man, that place is not safe. They made the documentary to give that effect to your mind. Why else would they do it? You got a documentary, oh, this is the life of Africa. Then all of a sudden, halfway through, they're telling you the wars and guns and, Today, for the last 10 years, the amount of conflicts in Africa has been steadily going down. That's a statistic they don't want to tell you. Africa is rising, and it don't rise because people have conflict. They settle their differences back and forth between each other. And the African Union is playing a larger and larger role, which has to be there. Now, what does the white man do? When he starts talking about rising Africa, he ignores it. What does the white man do when we start talking about the history of Africans before slavery? He ignores that history. As eloquently put by Dr. Barbara Sizemore. And if you go to my Black Man's Guide to Moving to Modern Africa, you can see a couple of her speeches, her talks in her last interview before she died. And if you think that Dr. Francis Cress Wilson has some deep thoughts, go listen to Dr. Barbara Sizemore. And go to Black Man's Guide to Moving to Modern Africa on Facebook group, and she'd be right there at the top. Listen to that woman. She's going to tell you that her son got a degree and he can't get a job. And she was a great educator, and because she took a stand, she couldn't fit in with white establishment. Never afraid to speak her mind. Beautiful. What did she tell you? We lost. Where are all our Fannie Lou Hamers and where are others today? They're not there. And you guys want to look at me and like, you're just exaggerating. You're just, you see, you make things look worse than they are. Nobody's going to come to your door with a machine gun and shoot you. Although there's a greater possibility of that happening in the United States, with every city having a SWAT team. Even small cities with less than 100,000 people, they got a full man SWAT team come out with machine guns. Nobody's gonna come out and run the streets and kill black people as they stand. We see some of that happen, but that's not those are far statistics. I'm not trying to advocate that America can't be lived in. I'm just saying that if you want to get rid of the game, if you get tired of being embarrassed by everything that they say about black people, if you're tired of being mistreated and oppressed, the solution is to leave. Go to the airport, give them the finger, and get on the plane. Don't come back. Now that's what I did, and I don't regret it 1 minute. I see a lot of you guys complaining and talking about this that happened. Look what they did to us. Look what they did. You got whole shows that just talk about look what they did to us. That's the whole show's mandate. Today a white guy slapped a black chick, and this is what happened after that. And this is the situation. Midday Al Bob. Did you know Freeway Rick Ross? I know a lot of his side customers, not customers, but probably his customers too. But some of those guys with the dealers, third ranking down with the little beepers, we came up in that. But see, at that time, I was a very serious black conscious man. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. I only did things that was going to help our people. So I was a fanatic, and I know guys that had drugs, was selling drugs, and I was looking at them sometimes like, damn, that's a lot of money. And I said, I'm so smart. If I got into that game, I probably could win. But thank God I didn't listen to myself. And at the end of the day, that one guy got arrested and he disappeared for like 3-4 years. Today he disappeared. He did completely disappear. The way they're doing us, but that is what I'm saying. The difference between what they're doing to us now and the way they did even when I was coming up in South Central Los Angeles. So no, I was an avid book reader also at the time. So that was one of my favorite pastimes. Get a couple of hamburgers, sit back and read my new book. Yeah, and I mastered a fairly decent library of books. And at the end of the day, I Stolen Legacy and Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor William. I still have those books, those two. All the rest were lost. If you got a lot of books you want to take to Kenya, before you come, you package them up, for them to be packaged in a way where they can just be, the address can be stuck on there and then it can be mailed to you. Brother Rahad, do the police treat Kenyans over there? Every time a cop is behind me on the road, I literally get anxiety. But at night they got these sweeps, mainly on the weekend, and police just come with a big van, and if you're just standing around, they grab you up, and if you don't pay them a bribe, then they'll take you to jail. And other than that, they're no real interested with police. You don't see like police walking down the road, knocking on somebody's door, looking for somebody. I've never seen that. Imagine. And I've never seen that. I've seen a couple of them walking together in my area. And I always say, you never see the police. Then all of a sudden they go too. So you can't say that. But on general tip, you don't see them. If I have a problem with my neighbor, I'm going that guy, you got to go. So I go to the police station, tell them what happened, and they tell me, go tell him to come. And then we both there arguing in front of the OCS about the situation. Then he decides on what he's going to do. That's it. So other than that, no, there's nothing like the police is some sort of terror against people. No, American police have a mandate to try to get as many black people locked up for as long as they possibly can, and we don't want to realize that because we think we so slick that we can avoid all of them problems, and we gonna be the one that didn't get caught, and we gonna go show that we good, we good, and the rest of the blacks that got caught, those are bad guys. That's what we start thinking about. Nobody's a bad guy. Did you murder somebody? Did you rob them? And how in the hell are you gonna be a bad guy? You know? But I was there too. I was there 36 years old, talking like, I never been arrested, I'm good, And that was a damn shame the way I was talking. Because so many people, even people I know, they looking at me like I'm as a good guy. And when I got caught by the police, they don't want to tell me about it, So I find out through third party, where's so-and-so? Damn. That was a wise decision not following Freeway Ricky Ross's example because he went to prison while you were enjoying beautiful sunny Mombasa. Yeah, San Antonio will fall. Its natural law of all entires rise and fall, especially when it's built on the bloodshed and slavery. Yeah. So to get the points of this video, we have only one solution. I have told you before, and we have now got to the point where I have made it clear to you guys that the only solution is to leave. After watching the Creek's interview, after watching Dr. Umar's interview, and listening to Dr. Claude Anderson's interview, I was like, at the end of the day, they had no solution. They just wanted to stay in America. And that was the downfall. Up to now, these three guys have not done anything that was helping black people. And some of them have been working around for a long time. It is not the responsibility of the parent to educate the children, throw their asses in boarding school, and watch what they give you at the end of the day. The time when you have the most trouble with teenagers, you can even have an argument with your kid at 16, 17 that ruins your relationship with them all the way into adulthood till they had children, and then they come to realize, oh, I saw what dad was trying to do that time when I was extremely mad at him for not letting me go to the party. Now I realize, that's 20 years of no talking to your dad, having, issues. They throw their ass over in the boarding school. Bring them on over here. We're going to make a show for that. You ain't got to be around them guys. They don't want to be around you and me. You know what I mean? They want to do their own thing. I'm trying to mentor my son here. I'm trying to teach him about coding, and then I look up and here he's got he done found a tutorial on coding, and he's following it on the video. And I'm like, who do you think can teach you coding better, that video or me? And he looked at me and knew the answer, you. And I'm like, let me tell you that you go watch these videos for coding, these tutorials. They take you down the road and then they leave you. They don't give you the full solution. And then where are you going to go? You got to go right back to the beginning and do trial and error. And that's what it comes down to. So don't waste your time with trying to go down, watch these videos. They look like they're all going to tell you what's right and wrong. And at the end of the day, you get confused and they can't help you. Because you got a question that they ain't answering on the video. And you're stuck. Now, this is very life important information I'm giving my son. And he came to realize it was true because he'd been stuck several times. He went and got another tutoring video from somewhere else. And I'm like, you'd just be wasting your time. You see, now, who could give him that? The young minds, they don't stay focused. I see that, and I can mentor him. Him, speak of the devil. Oh, I thought it was him. So, we're already seeing that they're saying that college educations are not really the solution for most blacks, but a lot of blacks are still going into debt, putting their kids in college, and this is a sad case. You know, very sad case. We have been trained to believe that you go take your kid to college. I met a friend of mine. A friend of mine called me from my childhood friend from 50 years, 60 years, from 50 something years ago. Called me. I've been seeing him on the internet, on Facebook and everything, but we hadn't talked in many, many years. And then I get a phone ringing. It's Clifford Holloway. And so the minute we start talking, it's like all that 50 years just went out the whoop. We were right back on time, laughing, cracking jokes, remembering old times. And I'm asking, what's happening with so and so? What's happening with so and so? And it was like, so and so's got 4 kids in college. One kid in Stanford. I'm like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? And so many of us are not getting jobs in the field that we have our degrees in, because so many more manufacturing jobs have been thrown out the window, and we have a lot more service sector jobs than we did in the past. So this engineering jobs, that white people got to get them first, and so this is a lesson that we learned the hard way down the line. College is not all that it's all cracked up to be. It's an expensive venture that doesn't guarantee a future. So, something that we really have to watch out for. But is their job going to be able to repay the loan? So many parents have loans. So many parents have loans out there for putting their kids to college because this is what you think this is what you've been programmed to do. And so all the way down, you see this kind of a simple scam, and simple scam. I'm sorry, and you just keep finding yourself in debt. And at the end of the day, even your children are not able to pay that money back, and you see it causes a strain even further in the relationship between the parent and the child. So what's the difference between going to college and don't they go to college in Africa? Don't Kenyan parents put their kids in college in Kenya? Yeah, Kenyan parents are to a degree like other parents trying to do the best thing for their kid, and they want to put them through a college. And if they can pay for a big expensive college so they can go tell their friends that my kid is at the top school in Mombasa, that, or in Kenya, you parents, you're trying to show out. And at the end of the day, it comes down to who you know. So the parent ends up going somewhere to somebody, a relative or somebody, eventually, and says, okay, here's a relative of yours, he needs a job. And they're like, okay, come on Sunday. And that's how they get the job. Not because of the degree, basically, but because of who they know. And that's all through Africa, and that's family life, I suspect that when the CCGA program starts to expand and I have employment opportunities for like 20 people, somebody, my wife's relative somewhere gonna come and looking at me, talking about give me a job. And what am I gonna say? No? Hell no. Oh, you're like, okay, shit. It's like my house girl. My house girl now, my youngest daughter is going to school. So the house girl has no nothing to do all day. So she came to me and she was like, I want to come to the lab and start working with you in the lab. And I'm like, listen, I'm obligated to help you because the way you've done what kept, my kids safe all these many years. So I can't say no. It's just, you got to work with, you got to look at Eva and figure out how she's going to let you come work at the lab, and that's this is how it is. You got to help or you can. And then it always benefits you down the line. So that's the thing. Tell him to study business and trade was cool when I was growing up, but in the 21st century. Okay, I can repeat that again about the issue of working in Africa. Because we come here and we're like, where can I get that job? How can I survive in Africa and make money in Africa? And I was saying that we're looking at that thing in the wrong way. Everything is based on hustle. Everybody don't have no written job application here. They just finding a way where they can make money, and then they work in that niche. And that is the hustling mentality of Kenya, and I'm sure many other African countries, the way Africans do. And when you look at the situation from that point of view, you can quickly make money because you find a niche where some, like here, I can't think of it now, but there was a there was a way I can make money here. Shoot, I can't think of it right now, but I was seeing a situation here at the school, and so anyway, I can't talk about that part, but there's so many opportunities you can do to make money if you know how to look for it. And that I just saw a great opportunity coming up. Make some adjustments with the CC Gate program, and you'll find they're going to have a lot of people involved in it. One of them was I need to hire a local Kenyan that really has a good speaking voice, who can talk to the parents of these Class A students and talk about the program. So uh, that's a that is something I want to look into. Yes, Mzuri. For watoto what? Results slip, mama? They have to come on Monday. Yeah, Monday. School's closed today. Okay. So I want to get that Kenyan because see, if I start talking to, they're never gonna listen to me. They're gonna be looking like there's a foreigner talking. Ooh, they looking at my accent. They ain't hearing a word I'm saying, and I couldn't say it in a way that they could really understand. No matter how Swahili-ish I get, they still going to be not understanding what I'm talking about. So I want to hire a Kenyan with a good speaking voice, teach him about the program, and then have him sit down with parents and explain to them basically one-on-one that they should get their students involved in digital revision, and they can get better results. Because right now we have the fantastic product, but you see no marketing. And so I came up with this amongst other things and this idea, and I'm paid them to get out there and talk to the parents. And one by one, parents are gonna okay, let me try. Here's 300 shillings. Let me do this. Let me try this. You see, and we have courses for every class in this school, and there's over 2,000 students in this school. So if we had even 100 students get the time right and everything, they will pay. Brother Ra, how does African blacks make it into the future if we don't own materials? I know small businesses will be accomplished, but China, Russia, America, and Britain are digging into the ground. Well, that's not true. Kenya's got a ministry of minerals, a ministry of mining, and all they do is watch over these areas. You can't do anything in Kenya big time without dealing with the Ministry of Mining. And I told you, they don't give whites a chance. If whites come up here talking about doing minerals, then they're on their neck, and they're gonna pay a hefty price. See, the problem is what you have to realize is that when African governments become more and more stable, then they can do more and more charging. They have more and more control over their resources. Thus, the reason why white people come into countries and destabilize the government so that they can get easy access. But those days are gone. Africans are not falling for that anymore. Africa is rising. So what you get is that we have more control over the minerals. Those are old days, concepts from the old days. That's not what the story is today. Do you speak Swahili? Yes and no. So I speak Swahili when the time is right, and the major language spoken in my house is Swahili, except when they're talking to me, and they like doing that. But I have been taking extra Swahili classes recently to get my Swahili sharp, and you know, I can survive and go places and talk Swahili when it's necessary, but it's never going to be my first language. So when you ask me, do I speak Swahili, and you feel like I want to say like I can speak like I'm, fluent? No. Even you come to find out that Kenyan Swahili is different than Tanzanian Swahili, and the two can't really understand each other well. They got to look around and figure out what they said, you know. So there's no real like uh, set of language. There's American English, and then there's British English. The two are not the same. So you have to watch out for that. Uh, um, what else? Well, I don't know. I don't think we should be talking about the comment about the mineral market, because the majority of black people don't have money to get into the market in the first place. You ain't gonna got the money to buy the machines and bring them over here and dig up the ground. So why are we focusing on that? As if you even see this kind of thing happening, where you're gonna go out to some part of the far out country and see them digging up the minerals and go, ha ha, see, they're taking the minerals. And what they got to do with you? Are you really gonna feel that when you go home? Is it gonna be like a big space in the supermarket where they say, "Well, we can't sell anything on this section because they're mining"? Nothing like that. Must stick to the focus here. The whole focus is to get into the country and establish yourself in a hustle, make money, and then move from there. All this other thing of pointing out all things, this is all old news that we done already talked about. The future is Africa, whether they're mining or, you walk out in the field and you fall into a deep pit. Look, they took everything. That's never going to happen. Do you know how much minerals? Do you know how much land? Come over here and take the SGR and go travel from Mombasa to Nairobi. See how much land there is. It's unexhaustible. It's unexhaustible. You know? So that's just lies. I'm trying to learn Swahili and Lungada. Whoa, it's tough. You need flashcards. That's the best thing I can tell you. Get your flashcards, write the English word on one side and Swahili word on the other side. Get about 50 the first time. Make sure that they're the basic words, hello, back, these kind of things. And then just flash them back to yourself whenever you get a minute. That's the best way I learned. I used PowerPoint and did one with PowerPoint. So every morning I could turn on the PowerPoint presentation and tell me the word, and then tell me that, until you get until it comes sticks into you. Then one day somebody's like, Habari, Habari Gani, wow, oh, you see, it's because you got it from the repeating the flashes. Repeating the flashcards. Yeah, that's big money, and there's not going to just let you do that. No, you ain't gonna do that in Kenya or any African country nowadays. They're too sharp. That's part of the reason why Africa is rising. They can make good charges on their minerals. We need to get you an Apple laptop. What I really need for you guys to do is support the channel. I know, because I've given you the solution, and I have told you the only solution. Then what are we going to talk about here on this station? If Alman is always going to be talking about go back to Africa, and that's not going to happen in my African plan for another 5-6 years. So what are we going to be doing and then talking about? There's a lot of great things to talk about here. One of the things that we talked about today was the blacks looking into doing boarding school. Of course, we have the 7-day exploratory trip. The itinerary is now out. You can go to the Kenya trip group site and see the itinerary. There are still spaces available for those people that want to join the trip. The first payment booking will be in February. I think you'll be paying a registration fee of $40 now, and then come and join that trip. If at all you have an opportunity to come, 1,999. You're never going to get a trip at that price. And those people that are doing these other tours for $6,000 and $7,000 are really on my neck, trying to say, what can you do? They're going to be in sleeping roach motels. They're going to have the people starving, or they're going to be lost. They forget that I live here, and I have a multitude of support people that can help me just if I ask them. So there's no way the people coming on this trip are going to be like left on their own. These other trips, they just come. They don't even live in Kenya, so they don't even know where to go or what to do. They have to depend on certain things. But for me, we have a whole. You'll be going to be shocked. You have a whole group of people that's waiting for you and ready to support you. And we're giving a lot of free time in the trip where you can go and do your own things and go out there and explore Nairobi and Mombasa for yourself. But we also have support people that will be right there with you, and all along the way when you need somebody to when you need help with something. So you'll be free. Some of these trips, they got you going to the drummer thing. You see the traditional dancers, and then you got the ones where they take you to see the elephants, and you start feeding the elephant, and petting the giraffe, and all of those things. But an exploratory trip is not like that. What we want to do is give you a clear understanding of modern Africa today. And that's what this trip is about. We done took away all of the little things where they're going to try to do extra charging and all of that, and replaced it with your free time. And then we're only paying for one meal a day. So 2 meals a day or 3 meals, wherever you want to go, that'll be on you. So the trip has its limitations as far as why it costs 1,999. But overall, you're gonna get the best airfare, direct flight. You're gonna get first class train ride back and forth from Nairobi to Mombasa, and I'm already there looking at the best quality hotels that I know our people, the standard our people want. So they asked them, well, how can you have a trip? How can you have a trip at that's a low cost? It's because there's several people that are involved in these other trips. It's not just one person doing the trip. It's like several people that they make their living off of these trips. It's not the ones that do it for African Americans that come to Africa is not their only trip. They're professionals. They do these all the time. And so I'm not trying to take people's money. So I cut all of that out, Now I'm gonna make money on the trip, that's for sure. But it ain't gonna be nowhere like 50 million. If I can, at the end of the day, the trip is gonna use all the money that it possibly can to give you the most comfortable experience, So if there's money left over, okay, yeah. And then, of course, the registration fees are there because we have to deal with each one of you individually, of course. But I know there are people out there looking, well, he's going to take all our money. And you're not even looking at these guys charging $6,000, $7,000, and they're going to take you to the drummers, let you feed the elephants, and then they occupy your time day after day after day. Don't give you real time to go out and explore on your own. So I've been doing these trips for many years, and I decided that I was going to do one that was going to be the lowest cost trip possible, and that's what we're putting together. And if it works out, people enjoy it, we'll do another one next 2 years from now. So if you're going to go for the April trip, get your $40 in. You want to make that commitment, $40 through World Remit. Then you send me After you sent $40 remit, you come and you message me and say, I'm going on the trip. And then you're going to be given the online form to fill out. And then your passport information is going to be there. And voila. You know? Voila. So here is the details. For those of you who may see it for the first time, we are serious. And everybody is watching this trip to see is it going to be a success or not. I just hope nobody comes over here and tries to mess with us. And then, you know. But I doubt that. I mean, it ain't that serious a deal. And the other trips for $6,000 and $7,000, there, you know, there are people for those type of trips. But for a lot of people that I know, and from one of the things I'm saying is that we can't really afford these kind of things, you know. Even though this trip for 7 days is a stretch for a lot of us. But trust me, in those 7 days, you're gonna get a lot of Africa, you know, modern Africa, and you're gonna travel. You're not gonna fly on a plane to Mombasa and fly back on the plane. Your phone is in your hand. You ain't took 2 pictures, but you're on the train and you're seeing all of the wildlife out there. You can be taking many photos, and take that back home, and have a world of interest to show your friends. And you know, the bottom line is until the trip is done, that's when we'll know if it's a success. I can talk all day, but you see, it's up to all of us together, and that is the way we're doing the trip. So, $19.99. I think the first payment is going to be something like $700 in February to book your seat, and then from there you just got to come up with the other 1,400. Is it 1,400? Yeah, 1,200, and by April, and you set. You see, so you're gonna have to have money on your own. That's true. Yeah, but you ain't gotta have a lot of money. I think if you came with $800, you could survive, or $700, you could survive. You know, if you're a couple, yeah, maybe like. I mean, I'm saying 1,500. That's a lot of money for 7 days. So you'll see it when you get here, and we're gonna make sure that you understand that it ain't gonna be expensive, you know. But I know a lot of people are gonna be like, I'm gonna have to come with some extra money. I got my, you know, come with your credit card ready to go, and you use it, you know. But you know, $1,000 is 100,000 Kenyan shillings. 100,000 Kenyan shillings. 100,000 Kenyan shillings. A meal is like, a good meal is gonna cost you like 500 shillings. So you got 100,000 shillings if you got $1,000. You see what I'm saying? 500. It's like let me drop it down. So you got $1,000, and a meal costs $5. You see? You want to go to the movies, and the movie is going to cost you roughly around, if you go to the movie theater, like $10, and you get a full movie, you know, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but you got, you know, $1,000. You know, so you see, the thing is, when you come here and you start seeing the way the money is, and you'll be like, you want to run around, go shopping, you know. And that's the beauty of it, and that's the kind of experience we want you guys to be able to absorb. So yeah, it's going to be a wonderful trip as far as I'm concerned, and you're going to be so free. You know, you're not going to be hung around me every day, seeing me every day. No, you're going to have the support staff there. I want to go to some of you. I want to go walk on the beach with my woman. There you go. Oh no, we want to go to. I heard this place called Impapa. Can we say somebody take you? You see. You know, I want to do the city tour. I want to get on the bus and go see the whole Mombasa. There you go. You know, and each and every day we're paying for the meal, one meal, dinner, or if it's breakfast, we all come together and, you know, laugh and joke. And then the next day, you go out and do your own thing. Here he is. Damn, how many is that? 6. Oh, you really want them shoes? My son has come. Uh, okay, Swahili started in Malindi, Kenya, so it's Kenyan, but Tanzania took it to the next level. Most of the world uses in Swahili from Kenyan. Yeah. One of the things that you're going to realize that when you get here is that English is widely spoken. So never think like you come here and then you're going to get trapped where somebody is talking to you in a language you don't understand. Slap them in the head, speak English. Oh, I'm sorry. It's like this and like this. You see, it's like that. You know, if they can't speak English, probably what they want to talk to you about is you don't have anything to do with you in the first place. So, yeah. Some of you that say like you can't go for the trip because you can't afford it, you think like that, but that's just part of the brainwashing. You know, you give yourself a few days and run it through your brain and see, and I guarantee it'll be a trip you'll never forget. You know, and we'll be here on the chat line discussing about it. Mombasa has all the fast foods you could possibly want. They coming, they here, but they got a lot. Fresh fruit is everywhere. It's wonderful when you want to just go get a banana or go get a watermelon or go get a mango. There's always a cart somewhere selling these fruits and fish. There's a large variety of fish here in Mombasa, of course. And in the evening, there's ladies that have been selling fish for decades, and they sit in the same spot every night, and then they sell the different types of fish that people want. So I don't even look at the fish. I just look at the lady, and I like, okay, I know she's selling this. She's selling tilapia. Or I look at another one. Okay, she's selling this other type of fish. So that's something that you pick up when you get here. But so I'm supposed to go to buy my son some new football shoes. He's brought me some samosas, as I asked him 2 hours ago. So I'll be doing that today. My son has a passion for football. He has a passion for football, and his shoes got torn. So I'm walking around, I'm seeing him out there watching the games, but I'm like, what's going on? Why you ain't training? He's saving his money to get some shoes, some new football shoes. And I'm like, oh. So, I told him I would take him today. Now, this morning when I woke up, he was like, Dad, you said you was going to go to Congoya with me. I was like, who? Who said that? No, Dad, you said you was going to go and you can give me some shoes. I never remember saying that. So the boy started looking at me like, bro, you got to get black humor. Okay, I'm just joking. I remembered. He thought I was seriously forgot. I know what it's like to be young. So let me take him out and get him some really good shoes. Surprising. And then there's my life, And that is no samosas are Indian food. Okay. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Is this African food? If the food is sold in Africa, it's African food, man. This one has got peas cooked into like a tortilla type of thing. So it's got the crunch, and then inside is like peas. Then they have the same other samosas that just have inside of it, it's meat. It's a different one. So some people that don't eat meat, they can have the one with peas. I usually eat the ones with peas because the ones with meat, you don't really see them much, and then you can't really be sure about the meat when they do those outside. So in fact, they're rare to even see nowadays, the meat ones, and they're only 5 cents. So this is 5 cents. 5 cents. I eat another one, that's 10 cents. Another one, that's 15 cents. You see, and I can eat 3 of them. So that's it. Life is inexpensive compared to what we have in America. The Africans I saw wouldn't eat fried chicken. Shit. They got the fried chicken place down here called Chicken Inn. It's a fast food like Kentucky Fried Chicken. And, they have their moments where they really got a lot of people. The other day I went there with who? I went there with Jay. And the place was pretty much packed. So fast food is making making its way into modern Africa. In another 5 years, the transition from America to Africa is going to be nothing. It'll be like you go from one place to the other. Come here and you start talking about hamburger, they're going to give you a hamburger, And that's it as far as, saying that America got things that Kenya don't have. And nothing you can't get in Africa, except maybe, Disneyland. The Africans ain't the ones with all them crazy rides, so that's why you don't see it. And I wanted to just explain to you guys that the life is simple, and whatever you see here, I have no parts of the Trump administration. I don't have nothing to do with that. The politics that's out there, nothing to do with me. White people looking at me, there's nothing like that here. You see, being a second-class citizen, nothing like that. The police patrolling the streets maybe might pull me over for something, nothing like that. Police don't even have patrols, regular patrols in Kenya. So all those are weight fears that have been overcome. Just have to come see for yourself and then be an advocate for it. Once you come, I'm sure you're going to see the same thing I'm seeing. And Murder King. They got Burger King here. And when I got to Nairobi, when they opened up the first Burger King, I had to go all the way to Nairobi and go check it out. And I bit into that hamburger, and for a second or two, it brought me back to the old memories. But after about a few bites of it, I was like, shit, this is that same shit that I was used to eating all the time, So for those that want to go back to miss that fast food, is here. And in the next 10 years, all of them going to be here. But at the same time, you're still going to get the traditional foods. And then, you just got to watch out what you let your kids get involved in. My wife, she ain't joking, boy. She mean fruit every day or go away. My kids would be like, she'd be like, did you eat a banana? Then go get one, So I see I'm trying to make this go to 2 hours. Phil Ruto, Lance, Twitter just removed Farrakhan. See, I had nothing to do with that. Who Farrakhan? What did Farrakhan ever do for me? What did he do for black people? He might call in again for another Million Man March, and you go like a fool down there and march, and then he's gonna take them big bags of money and go to the Bahamas, like he did last time. You didn't see nothing come from that money that he collected. So I'm waiting for that next one he's gonna try to give, and I think people are gonna see him for what he really is. What happened to the money from the last two, and how come it didn't help black people? So. Yeah, I'm waiting for that. But what Farrakhan does doesn't affect me here. I'm not a news watcher, so all of that stuff on TV, nonsense is not there. I have so much peace of mind, you know, and that's what I'm saying. What you want, you so busy struggling, you don't even realize you're struggling until you go to some place and you say, "Oh, this is great." It's that it's great. It's that where you were, it was bad. Oh, the people here are so friendly. It's not that the people are friendly. It's that where you were, the people were very unfucking friendly. You know, and this is what we have to come to realize. Shout out to African Tigress. Thank you there. You're supposed to help me with this. He wants me to monetize this channel. And I'm all along saying I'm not going to monetize the channel because I don't want to be held back for what I have to say. And there's a lot of things that's going to come out in the wash when people start talking about and coming to realize that the only solution for black people, all of these guys, I'm telling you, all of the Creek, Tone Talk, at the end of the day, they would never get in front of me and debate me because I would be the one telling them, you see yourself as a black American and that's your problem. You know, I know, you see, black people, we got to do this. And I'm like, no, you don't. You ain't got to do shit. All you got to do is pack your shit and go. No. What Africa can't do? That's a lie. Oh, you see, Africa can't support us if we. That's a lie. Oh, you see, Africa got its own problems. That's a lie. Oh, Africans don't love us. That's a big fat lie. So you see, they exhausted all of that. So you see now, what are they gonna say then? You know, what they gonna say then? I'm a Negro, and I love America, and everything I want to do, I gotta have be here where I can buy my Bentley and drive it up and down the road for people to see that I have taken their money. Meanwhile, the people are still getting pulled over by the police. They still got the same old struggles, running around dodging landmines here and there. Still got the deep pockets with credit debt and all that. And then nothing's changed, except you found a way to get some money out of them and bought you a Bentley. This is what goes on in the mind of the leaders. I'm saying the best thing America got to offer you when you make big money is go drink. And America is white people are anti-family. Just go look at the history of them. They're anti-family. It's anti-African. I know they're gonna try to make it seem like, okay, the American family and blah blah, but that ain't the way it works out in reality. Little Junior gets to be 18, he leaves home. A lot of whites run away from home. You see, others get mad and they purchase guns and shoot up people in buildings. You know, we have to see the reality of the situation. This is why whites are reducing in number. And they say they know they're reducing in number and they try to take us with them. But the trick is you get the last laugh when you leave. And they have, they got a file on every one of us. Right? They got a file on our robbery. I'm telling you, it's a thick one. And every once in a while they open it up and see where I'm at and what I'm doing, you see. But he's in Los Angeles, he's giving speeches. And then all of a sudden he goes there, he leaves. I leave it. I'm in Africa now. So what they gonna do with the folder? You know, so they're gonna go all the way to Africa and watch me in Africa. It's not. It don't have nothing to do. It don't have no value for them. They got too many other brothers here that they can come and dictate to because they want to stay in Africa. Stay in America. When I'm out, that's it. And when you out, that's it. You be looking around where to fight, and it ain't no fight. Just freedom. What you was looking for all along is there. Your land, your people, you know. Sorry. Those of us still living in America still want the so-called comforts that the U.S. have to offer. What comforts? Tell me about the comforts that black people get in America. What comfort? You got a big comfortable couch. You got a big flat screen TV on the wall. I don't know what they call it, 67-inch, whatever, the big one. Hell, they sell them in Kenya here all the time. So what you got in America that you can't get in Kenya? Huh? You think you living the life because you got a big screen TV and a big, nice, comfortable couch? You can come in Kenya and find a fundi and customize, make your own customized couch for half the price of what you got there from. Uh, I forgot the name of that store, the Creek store where they sell furniture. You get me? You've been lied to. You've been fooled. The same life you have in the United States, you can have in Kenya is cheaper. Hmm? If you don't believe me, come and see for yourself. And if you say that, if you find out I'm lying to you, make a video. Huh? I'll drop down on my knees and say you was right. I lied. Huh? They think I've been doing this since yesterday. Yesterday, no, I've been doing this for years. Before this even became popular, I was already saying that this was going to happen. I'm already telling you. I'm already predicting the future. And the fact of the matter is, when I look at these top guys that are talking out there trying to control black the mind, they all at the end of the day they need your money. You know, Dr. Claude Anderson's hoping you buy his books. Dr. Umar is hoping you pay to his school. Creek is now trying to put together. You know, he always try to act like he don't need money. He's not looking for money, but let me do this. But at the end of the day, it makes no sense for them to have an FBGA or whatever it is, and then don't collect funds. Tone Talk just took a big hit, and you know, when they start telling people go back to Africa, and then he got on there and started criticizing Ghana, and that just ended it. Because at the end of the day, there's only one solution. And to the degree that you're caught up into America, you can get yourself out of it. And when you get yourself out of it and start looking for a solution to go back to Africa, you know, I can't tell you to leave your bills behind. Don't pay your bills, but I'm saying when you come to Africa, that somehow these things just kind of take care of themselves. You can say it like that. But you see, they're going to be those people that's going to go tell the white man that I'm in Rise on TV talking about leave America and stop paying your bills and just leave America. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you can consolidate your bills, and although the payment might be like total consolidation might be like, let's say, $1,500. You pay that $1,500 every month to take care of all the bills that you have. Now you go to Africa. The bill comes due $1,500, but you only send them $200. The next month you send them $200 more dollars. So although you're not paying the full amount of the bills, you have a history of paying. You see? So no one can get on your case if you show like you're paying those bills. But at the same time, you're reestablishing yourself in Africa and you're not growing any more bills in the United States. You see? Your credit card going to go down. Yeah. And you live a much wealthier, richer life in Kenya because of the exchange rate. Now, we don't know how long that's going to last. Anything can happen with America. But while it's there, you should take advantage of it. Well, the white man is being suppressed, so he might do something crazy. You need an escape plan. The white man has been crazy. for 400 years. I don't know why you guys are looking at him like he didn't come yesterday. Like he just came yesterday. He ain't came yesterday. He been here. Hmm? But I'm telling you, he ain't reaching himself all the way across the ocean to Kenya. That's just fantasy people now thinking craziness. You know, there is a limit to him. His whole concentration is based on the black people, that people that he can convince that they black in America. And this is why I said Trump is on TV. Oh, you see jobs, everybody, best economy. Why is he saying that? He's saying that because he wants you to stay black American. Why do they put these shows on TV? Because they want you to believe Tyler Perry movies are reality, and everybody got law degrees and everybody got special jobs. You know, they want you to believe that the Bill Cosby show is a reality of what's really black life. One, the wife is a lawyer and the father's a doctor. They both work, but they run a household. Dang, where? You see, they just trying to make you see like what you can strive for, and you strive for it, but you never really reach that. And when you reach it, what do you get in return? Do you get a pat on the back because you and your wife will raise children, and you know, in a upper middle class neighborhood? Of course not. No one will tell you that Dr. Huxtable's houses, they all black, but the neighbors outside and across the road, and those white people. You know, they all them years of the Bill Cosby show, they ain't going around all the neighborhood and whites and think like that everybody around there love him. No. They don't talk about the racism that goes on there. They tell him, Dr. Huxtable, everybody love him. See? But that's not the reality. And we know that. You come into a white neighborhood, start buying up the houses, they're going to leave. As Dr. Barbara Sizemore says so eloquently on my Black Man's Guide Facebook group. Yeah, they're not making any more babies, but they're going to take you with them. They keep records of that they don't talk to you about, and the more they die, the more they got to take us with them. Think about it. You know, it's almost blatant. So the issue of Takriq and Dr. Umar and Dr. Claude Anderson and the rest of them, their solutions have not worked. It won't work. I was watching shows from like 4 or 5 years ago. They never came up with a solution yet. And I'm telling you that the only solution is you got to leave. If you want to get rid of racism out of your life and out of your children's lives, the solution is only one, and only one. It's time to leave. So if you like the message that we have, please do remember to support the channel. And like I said earlier, that the shows I wasn't able to give out shows on a regular basis now in January because there's so much work to be done. And next month will probably be busy too. We're giving you another interview whenever I can get these guys to come here and settle down. And doing these things are not really easy. When you walk around here and you start videotaping, everybody want to know what's going on. When they see me outside with a laptop, they want to know where's that camera facing. And nobody wants to be videotaped nowadays in Kenya, so it's very difficult. I could be targeted at any time. So let us appreciate what we're doing here, and let's get another show going. For those people that in the comment section talk to me about the boarding school issue, you find out that the money you spend is a lot cheaper to take them to fly them to Kenya and put them in boarding school, and than it is to raise them at home and have all that stress under your household. It's unnatural. Black people don't have that problem. Then they're gonna tell us we can't whoop our kids, and that is just ridiculous. You know, how many of our people have had our kids taken away from us? It's just crazy. Kenya whites are to be seen but not heard. That's a very true statement. Masai Mara spend all the money back and forth to Europe. Yeah, that's about all they have left. And a lot of the people that go into Masai Mara now are not white because they don't have money. So you just have to come and see the situation, and then you better understand it, and you can see the future is bright, and it's always bright for Black people. Like I said before, um, all the Black people I met live a better life in Kenya than they did in the U.S., and that's an important point. But this is Grandmaster Amon Ra. Got the 2 hour mark. No, anybody see that 2 hour mark, they ain't gonna hardly watch this video. But I want to thank you guys for getting in there. More Mutapa, what's up, man? Thank you guys there. Emmanuel Mills, thank you. You've been hanging in the whole chat. That's really great. Philip Bruto, you too. Hit me up in the gut. I'm African, but work in the U.S. Okay. Well, support your brother here in America, man. You know what I mean? Because one day you're gonna come home. You're gonna start seeing it too. That hey, home is you see home already is getting kind of good, and get you some Black American friends there and bring them with you when you come home. Um, and like I said, Lance Kelly is another one. She's just a great supporter of the channel. And January is a very busy month for me, so it's like hard for me to kind of get these shows out on a regular basis. So bear with me, and we're going to catch up. But I think we need a new topic, and I see many of them. We're going to work it out. And I had these long shows because you guys be requesting them. So let's keep it going next time. Till we meet again, this is Grandmaster Amon Ra saying peace.